Welcome. This podcast is a collaboration of Religica and URI, United Religions Initiative.
Mamoun Khreisat holds a master's degree in international business and is the founder of the Friends of Foreigners Club at the University of Jordan. He has been a dedicated social worker since the early 1990s, with a lifelong commitment to promoting intercultural and interreligious understanding. He serves as the URI Middle East and North Africa Regional Coordinator. Take a listen.
Could you describe a little bit more of the work that you specifically do for URI?
Yes. First, I will start with myself. I started as a cooperation circle, mainly after 11th September, because we see how the world divided and the old, let us say, legacy is no longer available for our generation. We need to restore confidence between West and East. We need to build bridges of understanding and mutual respect. So I established my CC around this. First, we can get people to join us through the community service we were doing. We recruit them by by this because people like to do things. So after we recruit them and they believe in us, establish the first thing, being honest and understand that we are helping the others. The second things I appreciate, that we are doing something for our community, for the others. Then we open their eyes that we have a global mission. The local mission is good, but the global mission is much more important. And as you see, the world is becoming worse and worse. The relationship between West and East is becoming more sensitive than it used to be. So we were in the right track. My idea is to bring people from the West to see us in the East, on the ground. Forget about media, forget about letters, lectures. Come, we do international voluntary camps. So you work hand by hand with Mediterranean, a he or a she from Egypt, Jordan, sometimes Yemen, Saudi Arabia. You work together in a project and you have to deal in a daily basis with the other. So you understand the reality. You exchange your reality with someone else. So you build your, let's say, knowledge based on facts.
Right.
Something you really experienced.
Rather than just
just stereotypes.
outside. What has that experience, watching these people interact, taught you about what's needed to be a peace builder?
People will not like the idea to engage in a peace building issue or interfaith. So you need to be smart and to find your way, design your project to enable these spaces of interaction around interfaith, about religions, about cultures, stereotypes. So we design our programs on community service and adventure. Sometimes we go in the mountains, we go and sightseeing. So it's like a comprehensive approach that you said, it's okay, I will discuss religion for 1, 2, 3 days, but I have a visit to Petra. I can camp in one night in Wadi Ram, which is a very wonderful place for camping. But we tell them, yes, you're gonna camp, but we will do the campfire. And the campfire mean you need to tell us stories about yourself, about your identity, and to explore the other's identity, to understand from where we come from. So with time, we enrich the experience by these projects. So by the end of the week or 2 weeks, we will find a lifetime friendships and appreciation. And now we start to watch the news about each other and say, this is not true. Said, yes, this is not true.
Right.
When they read something in their news. And the other way around, the West is not always against the East. There is two kind of words. This is the political word and there is the human. And the humans are the same.
What hopes do you have kind of for the future of peace building or the future of URI?
My hope that to stop human suffering. My hope that people understand that God created us and there is a space for all of us. We shouldn't build our luxury, our welfare on the expenses of others. All of us, we can live in peace and harmony, and we can share the available resources. You know, this is a human bias thing that inside of all of us, if we can find a real way to go through examining our internal bias and know about ourselves and start to change from inside ourselves, because somehow we are working but we don't know if we believe in our work. Many people, I noticed that they are engaged in peace building because they like the idea, and they said it's like, oh, this is good thing but not for me. I can work on it but not for me. We need honesty. You need to work on this by mind and heart together. I hope I can find a machine that can ask me questions, then I say, oh, this is you. You need to fix this.
Right. When you say accelerating peace, does that change the way you approach peace building in your context?
Yes, actually, for me, I found it as when I heard about this conference like months ago, I thought this is a new approach. The approach is to deal with all stakeholders, which is government, politicians, like-minded organization, in addition to our lovely grassroots. So I think peace building is not an easy thing. You need the collaboration of many parties, many stakeholders. And URI, by doing this, they are moving to next level of work, and I like it. And I think this is the best way to do it, because grassroots are okay. We can work with them. They are available, but we need the support of everybody. The right wing is rising in Europe and in the West, and we are looking, and we don't have time. Maybe, and something to mention, that the right wing in Europe and the United States is somehow in alliance with the dictatorship in the third world, let's say. So they are somehow in agreement that they are doing something good for the world, but they are not.
Why do you think it is that what they think they're doing is good? Do you think it's out of fear that people have established?
Yes, this is the game. The uncertainty and fear is always working. And if you can imagine, a head of state like the United States prevented some Islamic countries from entering the United States. What's the layman, what's the grassroots will feel about this? They will think that they do it for good reason. So if we didn't do this, I think this will lead to a lot of hatred and fear. Ignorance and fear is a way to violence, when we don't need this.
What is your take on a way to abating this great fear that's...
Yes, in MENA region, we have opportunities to do project with Europeans funded by European Union. And we were active. We do 5 projects per year. This enables us to bring Europeans to Jordan. And, if you work in the next generation, this is long-term strategy, but it's better than not to do anything. So far, the community that work with them in Europe, we are speaking about around 500 young person during the last 5 years. We did 6 projects in Jordan and the rest in Europe in cooperation with URI cooperation circles.
That's incredible. I love the term intercultural citizenship. That's fantastic.
Yes, it is the only way is to appreciate diversity in a structured way.
Right. And is that new and emerging for you, or have you guys been working on that for a long time in terms of...
Frankly speaking, it's this is one of the good result of Arab Spring, that because we noticed that the minorities in the Middle East, with whom we were living hand by hand, side by side, in a full harmony, is at a threat, and minorities are suffering now in the Middle East, unstable states, not unstable, it's only the post-Arab Spring, let's say, country like Egypt, Tunisia, and Libya, and Iraq. And somehow in Jordan and other countries, they are affected indirectly.
Right.
So we need to restore the relationship between minorities and majorities. We organized a project about visiting the religious places of the others. We call them the other, anyone different from you in religion only. So these projects or visits were very successful. We attended feast of Baha'is. We saw Christmas celebration, Easter celebration, and it was very rewarding for our youth.
Have the young people responded well to the idea of intercultural citizenship? Is that something?
Yes, frankly, the Baha'i table is always crowded. When we do gathering, we put, for example, a table for Kurdish, a table for Baha'i, a table for Druze, these minorities that are not well known, even that we live side by side. Sometimes you work side by side with a Druze and you don't know this. They don't disguise their identity. But now we encourage them, we give them the safe space to share. So the most crowded table, we do the open space methodology. Here is Baha'i table, here is Druze, here is Kurdish table, and people always crowded, wanted to know. We are speaking about 50 persons need to know about the others. They come just to know about the others.
Wow, that's incredible. Is there a particular story related to peacebuilding that really inspires you? And is there something specifically about that story that to you, some kind of quality that makes it an exemplary example of peacebuilding?
Yes. I will tell a story of one of our CCs in the South. In this story, there was American group came through Middle East, and they want to learn about the culture. We arranged for them to stay in the village in Ma'an, in the desert area. And one of them were with the old family. And he was so helpful to the family. And the family, they have children and they are old, so somehow old. And their children, same age with this young American. And the problem happens when the guy wants to leave, the family start to crying. The lady start to cry. I told her, what's happened? He said, he is better than my child. He's treating me very well. I get used to him. And this guy is, he promised her to come back. And he came back and made his wedding at the same village.
Oh my gosh.
And if you go to YouTube, Bedouin marriage, you see two couple American marrying in the desert. This guy, one of them.
Amazing.
So it's for him, it was a life-changing experience.
You never know what can happen.
Yes,
in
yes.
this work.
If you would like to know more about United Religions Initiative, read stories of interfaith in action, visit www.uri.org. And to learn more about Religica and our allies, take a look at www.religica.org. Thanks.